You're not afraid of the dark. You're afraid of what might be hiding in it. And that's not just a kid thing. It's an ancient survival system still running inside your brain, right now. Some people even see threats in the dark that physically can't be there, and their brain isn't malfunctioning. It's doing exactly what it was built to do. Fear of the dark shows up in kids across almost every culture on Earth, from Tokyo to villages with no electricity at all. That's strange because most fears are learned. Touch a hot stove once and you're careful forever. But nobody has to teach a 3-year-old to be scared of the dark. It just happens. So it's not about parenting. It's about how the human brain is wired, and a past far older than human history itself. 200,000 years ago, humans were nowhere near the top of the food chain. At night, lions, hyenas, and snakes could see and hunt far better than we could. The humans who relaxed in the dark, who wandered off without a second thought, they simply didn't survive long enough to pass on their genes. The ones who stayed tense, who listened for every snap of a twig, who assumed the worst, they made it. Fear of the dark isn't a glitch in your programming. It's a feature, handpicked by millions of years of natural selection. The second the light goes out, your main source of information, your eyes, basically shuts down. Your brain hates uncertainty even more than it hates danger. It can't just sit there and say, I don't know what's out there. So it starts filling in the blanks itself, stitching together shadows, sounds, and vague shapes into something that feels real. That's your amygdala at work, the fear center of your brain, and it fires off a warning before the rest of your brain even finishes processing what you saw. There's an actual name for this glitch: hyperactive agency detection. In plain English, your brain would rather be wrong 100 times than right once and dead. Mistake a stick for a snake and you jump back, feel silly, move on. No cost. But mistake a real snake for a stick, and that mistake could kill you. So your brain runs the math instantly, without even asking you, and always picks the safer bet. Researchers call it the smoke detector principle. Better 100 false alarms than missing one real fire. This effect peaks in early childhood, roughly between ages 2 and 6. At that age, kids are imaginative enough to picture a monster under the bed in full detail. But the part of the brain that handles logic and reasoning is still years away from fully developing. Adults get scared too, but our cortex jumps in fast, whispering, "Relax, that's just a coat on a chair." A young child's brain hasn't built that shortcut yet, so the amygdala runs the show, completely uninterrupted. Here's the irony. This fear made perfect sense 200,000 years ago. Today, there are no actual predators lurking in your bedroom. At worst, it's your cat deciding 3 a.m. is the perfect time for a walk across your chest. But your brain never got the memo that the world changed. It's still running software built for the savannah, not for a locked apartment with a security system. Scientists call this an evolutionary mismatch, a trait that once kept our ancestors alive, now just keeps us up at night, jumping at shadows that were never actually a threat. For most people, this fear is mild and fades with age. But for roughly 5% of adults, it turns into something clinical, called nyctophobia, a genuine phobia. Panic attacks, a racing heart, and the inability to fall asleep without a light on. Brain scans show something fascinating. In people with nyctophobia, the amygdala lights up more intensely in darkness than it does in everyone else, even when there is zero actual danger. Their brain isn't overreacting on purpose, it's just stuck in permanent high alert, a switch most people's brains learn to turn off. So here's the strange, almost comforting part. Fear of the dark was never a weakness, and it was never just some childish overreaction. It's a gift, quite literally passed down from ancestors who survived precisely because they were scared enough to stay alert. Every single time you glance into a dark room and freeze for half a second, that's a 200,000-year-old survival system doing exactly its job. You're not a coward. You're carrying the memory of everyone who came before you. And somehow, that memory still works.